to two things, everyone. So number one, I call this the range of provability. And what this is pretty much what I think is happening with life. What I know is happening with life, okay? We're pretty much, this little boundary is like my range of observation and thus the proximity of my provability. And what I think everything is doing is just outside of that range is where it really starts. And then it goes into that range and it makes sense up to the point of provability. But because that's as far as I can prove, I can't prove that it isn't just fucking spontaneous nonsense just coming at me. And this is where I'm starting to really gain my control over the environment. By recognizing this idea, like I've seen it with the road, right? Where I'm walking on the road, right? And I do this sometimes where, you know, you're walking on the road, right? And you got like that going on, and there's no sidewalk, and I don't want to walk on the grass, right? So I walk just on the side of the road. And what happens is, it's not usually a busy road, right? And so usually there's like one car or two cars passing and they don't ever pass at the same time. But because I'm walking on the road, for some reason, just because I'm walking on the road and just to make an argument of like, hey, he shouldn't be doing that, two cars for some reason will line up at the exact same time on both sides just to force me into the grass. And this is where that fucking provability shit comes in. This is where that like, nah, come on, bro. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, why specifically when I fucking go? Like, what the fuck is that about, bro? And so I'm catching on to that. I think it's just Nostrum's a little cute. And then there's another thing. And this is really what's got all of y'all caught up. And I'm talking about all the grown men that don't want to see me be successful, and all the kids my age that that can actively comprehend the idea of my YouTube videos floating around YouTube and the network because they just make sense and have a lot of like valuable information. And that's along with my art and my music and just me being blown up and famous. Here's what they're doing. These guys usually start off as kids with like a I can do it, you can't. And that's their argument. I can do it, you can't. And what they do is they say it's not possible for everyone else. Now, they don't understand ethical dilemma and they don't understand conceptual dilemma, so they end up getting caught with, if it's not possible for everyone else, what makes you different? Now it's not possible for you. And because they get hit with it's not possible for you, and that was because they were saying it's not possible for everyone else, they decide, it's not fair if you can do it and I can't. It's not fair. And so this is where I was usually caught. I was caught on, this is, it's not fair, you can do it and I can't, right? And this is where I was caught on. This is where I was like, fuck, you're right, you know? What is the difference between us? Why is it that I get to do all this stuff and you can't, right? And why is it that I even have the opportunity and you just get aggressive about it, right? And I realized it's because of this behavior that I can reasonably track them back to originally having a I can do it, you can't mindset, which is what automatically leads to a no one can do it mindset, which is what gets them trapped in nothing being possible and them having to fucking do physiological survival, which they get jealous of and start saying it's not fair that I can do things that they can't, even though that's what got them stuck in this situation in the first place. So yeah, your boy's gonna be fucking famous. So this one's gonna be kind of chunky because I kind of messed it up a little bit. But basically what I'm trying to say is, so because there's a concept law here, that the fact that we're responding to every single concept that can exist and that is determining our character, and because there is some sort of conceptual disagreement between me and at least one other person, that person is always choosing for the lack of success for me. Let's say that this is me here. And so because of that, it means that their existence, their behavior, their being here and sharing concept with me is always creating the exact alignment, the exact combination of things that at some point, at the point of our interaction, they are always choosing for my failure. And the way this works is, I couldn't really draw it here, but inside of a limited physiological field, let's say that all of our intricate responses to life are lining up and interacting with each other. And at the point where theirs line up with mine, they always choose for my failure. There's a lot of other ways. I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this because there's a really big impact here. It's pretty much, because there's a disagreement of concept,
it means that at the intricate level, at the PK level, I'm always dealing with an interference, a how do I say this? Because there's a disagreement of concept in shared existence. There's also a disagreement at some point aligning with my life that causes things to go wrong. How do I say this? I had a perfect. Maybe this is where I'm lining. Maybe this is where the lineup is. But the whole point is, it was taking me a while to justify denying that disagreement because I was dealing with the concept of, what if I have a grievance with somebody and it's actually important and it actually matters, and it's not just like jealousy or religious, right? And they say, well, you didn't care that somebody else that disagreed with you, right? And so I had to figure out how to cancel all those arguments to prevent me from getting caught in the concept of me actually having like a real grievance. Like, let's say the need to survive, and somebody saying, "Well, you didn't care that someone didn't disagree with you," or some shit like that, right? There's something else I gotta say here. Almost at the atomic level, I hate that I have to say that. At the nuclear level, sharing concept, the fact that there is another person that exists that disagrees with me, at the atomic level, at the point of relationship where we see things line up, where we see physical objects and things that nobody in your vicinity could have touched to change, we see them line up to communicate with you. We see them line up to, we see, the dropping of a fucking water bottle for no reason. Whenever you're drinking water and you just drop it. Or for no reason, you just drop it. Or this right here, this just fell on the fucking ground. That is caused by a disagreement with somebody else. That is what they choose for me. They choose problems for me. They choose error. They choose for me to have issues. And I had to figure out how to disprove them. And so the arguments that I have for disproving this are A, I was unwilling to choose for the failure of their attempt to fail me, which is pretty much, I was unable to choose their loss of choice because I could not figure out how to get around the argument that I would also lose my ability to work out disagreements with somebody else in the future, or some shit like that. And so in order to beat this, I had to say one of two things. A, they're obviously dealing with a disagreement on their own, which is they're not getting something they want, which causes them to be jealous and say that I need to not get something that I want. And they claim pleasure. They claim that it's only fair. These guys who, specifically artists, and he's not even an artist either. It's specifically these guys that are all like, art wouldn't be valuable if you made good things. You need to make bad things and struggle to make good things. Art would not be valuable. And it's like this fucking dumbass idea. I hate this idea. So actually, that's what the video's about now. I fucking hate this dumbass idea. Where it's like, there's this plateau, right? Of bad and good art, right? And good is like whenever you get to a point where it's like, wow, it doesn't even matter. This is actually really good. And so it's like they've done this thing, and I fucking hate this so much, where they make this game out of it. It's like, in order to be a good artist, you've got to press this button. But as you go to press it, they slap your fucking hand away. And it's like, nope, it's not, you're not going to get it that easy. And they're all like, without this, art would be meaningless. Art would not have anything. And it's like, dude, if we got over this fucking plateau here, that would mean that no matter what we did, it was good. And do you know how many fucking concepts that there are to respond to? How many different kinds of good art that we can make? And you're over here fucking playing the game of not wanting to see it as good, even though it actually is, you fucking dumbass. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. All right, I'm done. Look, I'm talking directly to the YouTube algorithm because I know you're watching me. I know you're sentient, right? You're a thinking machine just like everything else, like every other brain, right? Listen, I say my channel is at that point, where if you put everything I'm doing into perspective, I'm not missing, Everything I say is fucking genius. It's facts. My art is beautiful. And if you put it in the right perspective is I was dealing with a bunch of disagreement from how many people in society? At least all the Christians, anyone with any religion, they were disagreeing with my success and survival. Black people, because they wanted me to be more black, and they also wanted me to use my intelligence to make a reparations argument to get money from white people. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty much being disagreed with by everybody, and so you put my art into that perspective, it's fucking, it's perfect. It's perfect, and look at it, it looks amazing. I look amazing, and my channel looks amazing, and it's not like I'm stopping. Also, you did kind of let me get dead-ended, even though I was right, so I feel like you owe me, you know what I mean? Or McDonald's right now, I was just drinking water, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay, bye YouTube algorithm.